Now, a celebration of the Matsila Heritage and Chiefdom is taking place today in Limpopo. The purpose of this annual event is to reflect on the culture and customs of the Matsila people as today marks Heritage Day. Let's get some more insights on these festivities with Chief Livhuwani Matsila, who's the leader of the Matsila people. Chief Matsila, thank you for making time for us this afternoon, and happy Heritage Day. This is obviously an important day for you guys that celebrates your culture, your history, and heritage that's been inherited from time immemorial. How important is keeping up and being consistent with these celebrations?
No, thank you very much. Indeed, today is a very special day where we are gathered here at Matsila with our communities and also neighboring villages to celebrate the culture and tradition of the Matsila people whilst remembering our forebears and ancestors who actually gave us the land and the resources that we have. The most important aspect of it is that we are teaching our young people to respect and value their own tradition as a form of their own identity, cultural identity, and also fostering social cohesion between ourselves and our neighbors. You have people from Bulovedu here, you've got people from the Tonga, Shangaan areas, and the Venda people all together celebrating in unison and in great unity. So this is very, very important. We're also launching the Chief Matsila Foundation that focuses on education and health in the rural areas.
Mm-hmm. Part of what today is about, I imagine, is also to teach young ones about culture. And I wonder how important that is, because they are the ones who can keep it alive.
Yes, that is quite critical, Clement. I'm beginning to hear you a bit because of the background festivities. But you are right. They are the ones who must inherit this culture and tradition and take it into the future. People who don't have their own identity and culture and traditions usually get lost in life. And people who take pride on who they are usually make it very, very successful in life. So our children are then taken away from the streets to focus on their cultural performances, and they actually train a lot ahead of these festivities, which keeps them out of the streets. And that's the way we like to groom our children so that they become better adults and better leaders in future.
Yeah. What else do you think can be done to promote our culture? Because the sense I'm getting is that it's not being promoted enough. There are some young people that still don't know their roots, and even our curriculum hasn't really been that effective in instilling that knowledge.
That is a very important point you are making, that our curriculum at schools does not reflect enough aspects and attributes of our culture and heritage. It's something that we want to talk to government about so that the culture itself is relevant and reflective of our traditions and customs. It's very, very important that we don't celebrate these cultures and teach young people only once a year. Fortunately, in our community, this is a daily way of living. Every day, every weekend, we gather and train young people as a matter of principle and process. So going forward, I think there must be much more efforts from ourselves as traditional leaders and government to make sure that we have this, inculcated within our young people, and it becomes a way of life.
Yeah, and I mean, as chiefs, as kings, you also want to be able to learn from those that have come before you. What lessons do you think can be taken from the kings and chiefs who came before you? Because you also want to remember the good deeds of the forebearers.
Very, very important lesson is that we learn that our forebearers and forefathers were very humble. They were people with great humility. They were people who espoused and lived by the way of Ubuntu. They cared for the people. They were not self-centered. They always looked after their own people. That's why they are so respected and have been respected forever, because what mattered to them were the daily lives of their own people. Nowadays, we are having a challenge that traditional leaders are seen as people who only look after themselves and their families. So I think that if we draw back from those aspirations of our forefathers, we can learn a lot in terms of how we can prioritize people. Then there were no certificates for traditional leaders. traditional leaders were there because of their own families and their communities. So nowadays, everybody wants a certificate and a vehicle for themselves. And I would think that that is wrong. We should work for the people and respect the people as much as we should respect ourselves.
Mm-hmm. What else can be expected today during the Matsila Day? What other festivities are planned?
I think the festivities that are there is different traditional leaders here, Chikona dance, which is the hallmark of the Venda royalty in itself. You've got Mchongolo from the Tsonga or Shangan people, Shichaichai, Shibelane. You have got people from the Rain Queen in Bulovedu who are here with the youngsters also performing. We think that with what is happening here is likely to also attract rain in the coming days.
All right. Chief Livhuwani Matsila, leader of the Matsila people, thank you for making time for us.